I like, click, subscribe, do I know what time it is? It's Netflix time. This movie's called A Week Away. In this uplifting musical, a troubled teen takes a leap of faith by attending summer camp and unexpectedly finds love, friends, and a place to belong. So yes, it's a family film. It's a musical in every sense of the word. It just came out. It's an hour and 37 minutes long. You already know what time it is. Spoiler alert. Let's get it. So we start off with this dude named Will. He's running from the police for some reason with a guitar and a bag in his hand. He drops his guitar and bag, but when he ends up going back for it, he gets caught and arrested. So why'd they take him to the Children and Family Services building? Because apparently he's been to 6 schools in 7 years and he's been to 22 orphanages. So the reason he was getting chased by the cop in the first place because he tried to steal or quote unquote borrow a cop car. Why he did this bullshit, I have no fucking idea. He's like, oh no, they could put me in juvenile detention for this? Are you serious? So they don't really go in depth, but his parents died when he was little, and that's the reason he's been going back and forth to foster homes. So this lady comes out the blue and gives him a second chance, along with her son, George. They offer him a chance to attend summer camp, and his choices are either that or go to juvie. And this fucker really had to sit down and think about it. Go to a religious summer camp where you're having activities, probably some women, all types of other stuff, or go to a juvenile detention center. I don't care how uncool you think it is, the choice is painfully fucking obvious. And so he's going off to summer camp. Then we get a musical on the bus. They finally make it to camp. He meets his love interest, Avery, within a matter of seconds.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely going to tap those cheeks on sacred ground.
Damn, you move pretty fast, huh? So here's your antagonist or bad guy for the film. His name is Sean. But because of the way this movie is, he's not even really that much of a bad guy. He's actually kind of good. It's not even like he likes Will's potential girl, Avery. He's just like there for competition. So in hindsight, it's all good and gravy. He talks about trying to save narwhals. I guess they're like unicorns. He was like, yeah, I thought those weren't even real. He's like, I'm trying to save the sea, dude. You get the point. Well, anyway, that shit breaks into a musical number. Well, anyway, she shows the camp counselor Will Hawkins' file, and I think that's Avery's dad. He feels like he's old. She gives him a Fabio reference. And if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you'll get it. And then George and Will settle into their cabins. George talks to Will about getting with Avery, giving him pointers and all that. But Will also found out that George is trying to get with Avery's best friend, Presley Elizabeth Borsky. And he knows way too much about a girl that he's never said anything to. Stalker much, but this guy's harmless. Anyway, they go outside and they got all these competitions of what to sign up for. They got rock painting, zip line, archery. But of course they sign up for paintball. Why? Because Avery and Presley are over there. So they all get to talking. George can't say nothing to Presley because he's too damn shy. They both feel the same way about each other, but they're too scared to say anything. Too scared to make the first move anyway. And then we get a musical based on that. And here comes this guy talking this shit again. Sean says, we undefeated at all competition. We don't get beat. Will says, we'll see about that. And then they have a bonfire. This nigga then turned into Mel Gibson, old Braveheart having ass. And he marks people for what teams they're going to be on. And they start singing melodies about what team's going to beat who team. Basically a bunch of shit talk.
But they do it respectfully because, it's a faithful Christian camp.
So next day, Will's not trying to get up out of bed because he's tired. And George's like, hey, get your KD ass up, we gotta eat. And yeah, what the fuck is this? That pile of shit wouldn't even qualify as a sloppy Joe. And Will is self-aware. He asks George, like, why would you get more of this? Exactly, it's fucking disgusting. Alright, so Sean's up here and everybody has to play this game called the 5 Minutes of Fame, which basically means the new kid comes up and sits on a stool and you can ask whatever questions you want to him. Basically, you gotta tell the truth. One person asks him what is his favorite movie. He says Twilight. You're not supposed to lie in this religious camp, and we all knew that was complete bullshit. Even the camp counselor knew that was bullshit. So it sure says Camp a Ouija away, but it's really supposed to say a week away. It's supposed to feel like a week away, but the logic behind it is like, whether you take a week away or here or there, you'll feel different about however you feel about the camp. Basically, you take a week to come here, you'll feel something different about yourself. I don't know if it's good or bad, but you'll feel different. That's what he's basically saying about it. But he's obviously going to give it a shot since you got Avery here. He's trying to give it a business. So Avery tells Will she likes the Blob, and he talks about, I'm Mr. Blobtastic or whatever, basically lying. But I'm not even sure if they were referring to the movie or some other type of stunt or something. Well, apparently it was a stunt, and the thing about Will is he's scared of heights. But apparently he's not that scared of heights because he jumped with the quickness to bounce his friend off the other side into the water. I mean, it actually looks kind of fun. Well, anyway, another musical, and then we play dodgeball. Presley's all fucked up in these streets. It's 3-on-1. She's the last one left. George, don't do this. It's stupid. You're not even playing right now. He tries to do that epic dive thing where he saves her or whatever, but all the balls completely missed him and hit her straight in the face. Even the opponents felt bad. Like, goddamn. He's looking like, dude, how'd you try to save her and every ball missed you and it still hit her in her face? And that right there is probably the funniest part of the whole movie. It was so bad she had to put a bag of peas on her face. Will and George go in the bathroom. He's talking about, I'll never be the guy that gets the girl, blah, blah, blah. Then he gives him a random ass makeover to make him look cool. We get this random musical montage again. Oh, mesmerized look on her face, having ass. She like, bitch, hold these peas, my man's here. They're This nigga must think he Miguel or some shit right now. Well, anyway, the montage is all in his head, and he's like, yeah, what the fuck am I doing? Later on, Will's in the forest out here playing his guitar. Avery meets up with him and all that. She's about to show him this special place she has. She got the little spot set up with like flowers or whatever like that. It's like one of the brightest spots in the entire area. It's really a montage for her mom, who had passed away like 11 years ago. It feels like he wants to tell her things, but he's not ready to get that deep into her yet. Then we get another musical montage. Then it's time for the paintball competition. Flag football, sack tossing, all that shit. Pie eating, hula hooping. You know, some good old fashioned fun. But back to paintballing. George was in trouble, and Presley did the dive that saved his life. He still got hit in the face with a paintball, but she did more for you than you did for her with the dodgeballs. And then as she helped him up, he got laced anyway. And then the last surviving members are Will, Avery, and Sean's squad. But Will and Avery end up being in the same bunker. They're all different teams, but because they're the last ones left, if they finish each other off, that means Sean's team wins. So then, they get a truce. They come out guns blazing, and they light Sean's candy ass up. And then she takes out Will. Truce over. So Sean's mad. He's like, man, I'm an apostle. We don't lose. It's bullshit. Meanwhile, Will and George just go back and just chilling in their room. They start watching Bueller's Day Off. Classic movie with Matthew Broderick in it. I'm not going to show the clip. They might fuck around and cut the video or something like that. But anyway, later on, they by the campfire. We get another musical. He wants to tell her about the real him, but he actually kind of lied about it. But he's like holding back or whatever for some reason. She gives him a picture of all of them spending time together. Sean was in the background being nosy. So when everybody's asleep, Sean goes digging through the files. He finds Will's files. He got information. He got dirt on your boy. So as the squad practices for the talent show, here comes Sean determined to fuck up the mood. He's like, man, I know about your past. I'm giving you a chance to come clean. So you going to tell Avery or am I going to tell her? So Will decides to dip out. See, he's not a bad villain. At least he gave him a chance to clear his quote-unquote good name. Well, anyway, George talks to Avery and tells her that Will went missing. Yeah, he went back and packed up his bags. I'm thinking to myself, where the fuck is he gonna go? So it took her to nighttime to check the cabin. What the fuck were they doing with it all that time? She asked to borrow her dad's keys to the truck. She's like, yeah, I need to talk to him one-on-one. I gotta bring him back. And look at this, it's nighttime. You think to yourself, how long was he fucking walking before Avery caught up with him? You know what I'm saying? She's like, look, I know about some of your past, but just tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta run off, you know what I mean? So now he's trying to play the dick role, like, yeah, you don't know nothing about me, blah, 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 all this other stuff. Then she talks about God, and he's like, where was God when they took my parents? You know what I'm saying? Then she tells him to look her dead in the face and tell me none of this meant anything to you. Which he does say, but you know he's lying, you know what I'm saying? She knows he's lying. So she turns back around and gets in the car, and I'm thinking to myself, well, where the fuck is he gonna walk to? Didn't he sign something earlier? Yeah, like if he doesn't finish up camp, doesn't he go straight to the juvenile detention center the moment somebody notices something? So it's like, where the fuck are you going? You have no choice but to go back, you big dummy. So we get a montage of all the things he enjoyed at camp. Back at the camp, he's worried if he's going to even show up for the competition. In the back of her mind, Avery is still hoping Will pops up. And of course he does. Man, you ain't got nothing else better to do. She's like, man, if you don't get your goofy ass over here and just kiss me and stop playing around. She's like, what else you gonna do with the rest of your life? Get into mischief and play around with cop cars or some dumb shit like that? Well, anyway, they do their concert. Obviously, they win the competition. Sean gives his respect. Last day at camp, Sean gives Will respect to his face. See, he's not even really a bad guy, really. We got them being all lovey-dovey. George finally has a full-fledged conversation with Presley. So apparently he had all these letters that he had wrote to Presley, but he never sent them out, and it was like for the entire year. So yes, he has 365 letters in that damn box. She's like, nigga, you had me at hello. And then they start quoting Ferris Bueller Day Off, and he finds out that that's her favorite movie also. And then he gets the digits. That's what I'm talking about, Georgie. Now this part kind of confused me only for a split second. So they're talking about going their separate ways and all that. But then she asks Will, can we adopt you for real? So, you know, they can officially be brothers. And he accepts. Now, at first, I thought they filled out adoption papers at the beginning along with the spring summer camp stuff. But apparently, it wasn't for that. So, okay. Then we get one more musical. Dancing and all that shit, the end. My only question to all this, at the beginning, he was shocked that he could possibly go to juvie. So apparently, he's never been there before. Which was kind of hard to believe if he's supposed to be some type of quote-unquote juvenile delinquent. And he struggled with the idea of either going to juvie or going to a summer camp. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Well, anyway, a week away on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Slick, DZ, all DZ, mister. Skizzy, kid. Ow, big. You got this slogan.